Yeah, so the topic for the week is incorporating health education in schools, methods, policies, and initiatives. Do we only have three speakers today, or there are more? What about the rest? Okay, let's start off with Farhana.
Hello everyone. I found a research paper where 20 schools were randomly selected for the study. Out of 20 schools, 1/4 were located in inappropriate places. Only half of the schools had appropriate structure, 90% of the schools were overcrowded. Ventilation and daylight were adequate for 12 schools. The cleanliness of school classrooms was adequate in 80% of the schools. There were no separate rooms for serving the midday meals in any of the schools under study. The present environment and sanitation facilities at many of the schools are not fully satisfactory. Therefore, to tap the potential of the school children as the most persuasive advocates of good sanitation practices in the community, it must provide them with a healthy school environment. Thanks.
I think great point highlighted here about the fact that it is very important to provide a healthy environment for students so that they're able to know, so that the schools are able to nurture them and are able to teach them what personal hygiene is. Okay, let's move on to Shantanu.
Hi everyone, good evening. So today's topic is incorporating health education in schools. What are the methods, policy and initiatives by Government of India or the other NGOs are taking up for the same? So let me start by giving a brief history about how the health education is being incorporated or how the health status of our school going children are. So talking about one of the very common disease, that is anemia. So 50% of school going girls and 30% of school going boys are having anemia as a serious concern. So looking into the data by Government of India, they have launched one national policy, that is National Anemia Prophylaxis Program, where a school going child will be analyzed based upon the dietary patterns, based upon his blood routines, and will be taken care of if any further cases of anemia or any of the signs of anemia are being taken off. Apart from this, what all are the other methods or like any of the policy being incorporated in the school is one of the school health program, which is one of the major program going in across all of the government as well as private schools. So here what we do, like I am also a public health scholar, so I am also included in one of the school health programs in the place where my college is situated. So we go to school, we take the demographic data of a child, BMI, we have to calculate the BMI, and based upon that, if any of the severity or any of the chances of NCD case or like any of the malnourishment case are being diagnosed, we'll be sending them to a primary health care. So this is how the health education is being incorporated for the younger child. Plus, a daily, like a weekly meeting or a monthly meeting is being conducted among the parents as well as the teachers to make parent aware about what would be the dietary factors to be incorporated for the children. Because the major factor for any of the health disparity is nutrition. So if a nutrition is proper, the growth of a child will be taken care of. Yeah, thank you.
I think some very important points highlighted by Shantanu. Shraddha, you have something to say?
Yeah, hi everyone. Okay, good evening. So we are doing the topic of health in schools, and for that we have a very good scheme, that is midday meal scheme, which was started in 1995 in Tamil Nadu, and now it is going over in all the government schools. So you must be aware of that scheme that in the lunchtime, freshly cooked food will be given to every child in the school. But there are some points which I have to highlight. Like, firstly, it is a top-down scheme. That means that we have a fixed what to be given in the meal. But the states are demanding, or it should be such that the region-wise, the food can be different. Like in the South India, it can be non-veg, it can include rice, it can include what the native food is. In the east of India, they can include rice and fish and everything. And there is a debate going on right now that should, in the northern side of India, we should include eggs in the meal or not. There are some people who say that eggs should not be included because of religious factors. And there is another who say that they're cost effective. First of all, you cannot replace it by paneer because that will be very costly. Secondly, it is high on protein. So it's a debate. You can carry on with this debate. Who of you all interns think that egg should be included, or religion should be given primacy over the health, or who of you consider that health and nutrition should be the first thing as it is included in the under Article 21 of our Constitution as a fundamental right. So if we can take this debate on. If you interns want, you can share your opinions on this debate. Thank you.
Anybody who would like to add on to Shraddha's point?
Can I?
Yeah, go ahead, Shantanu.
So the midday meal scheme is renamed with PM Poshan, that is Pradhan Mantri Poshan Shakti Nirman. So all the points mentioned by Shraddha is accurate because based upon the regions, there are different food practices being done. So in the Karnataka state where I stay, the midday meal or this PM Poshan, what they serve is sambar, rice, and palya. Palya is a vegetable. Now, looking after to the northern place where I belong to, here the food pattern is pulse, rice, and vegetable. So, based upon the disparity and the region where we're living, so these are the food habits which are being followed, but still the nutritional status is not accurate. Like one of the surveillance I was doing, it's a field practice I was doing in my area. I found out that the midday meal scheme or the PM Poshan scheme was not at all followed. The kitchen was not established. The food was not prepared. It was not at all distributed to children. But in the documentation, it was mentioned that it is followed regularly. So these all are the pointers which we need to focus on and need to bring out so that the problems which are being faced by children due to nutrition can be taken and the overburden of diseases can be controlled.
Fair enough. I think let's listen to what Raj Lakshmi has to say, followed by Khushi.
I agree with points mentioned by Shraddha and Shantanu. And as Shraddha mentioned that every region has its own food practices, a bottom-up approach is very necessary for this. And native food items should be included in the diet of the students. And it will help their health, obviously. And it has one more benefit that it would help to stir the local economy over there because the native food products would grow in that particular region. So the kitchens who are making these meals can purchase it from the farmers or the vendors, which can also help them earn a livelihood. So that's all I wanted to add. Thank you.
Khushi.
So like talking about midday meal and all these schemes which basically focused on nutritional requirement of students, school going students, children basically. So I think we should not forget about one more dimension of it is hygiene. So like we a lot of time see in the news that children like falling sick or getting infected with diseases, which makes parents very conscious, and people who are in need of food, those also sometimes avoid eating it. So this is the thing which I want to highlight.
Makes sense. I think great points put forth, and I can totally understand. So like if I put forth the stats, adding on to or supporting this argument is that I think we have around 20% of the global burden of disease in India. Global burden of disease is the amount of disease that takes place, and that's like the highest number. Like that's like a very high number as compared to other countries. So we should also look into the fact that apart from nutritional and calorical requirements, you also need to check out, just like when she mentioned, the hygiene and what all the conditions are, whether all of these are being met as per the criteria or not. So yeah, let's move on to our next speaker before I open the discussion for questions to Rashmi.
Hello, everyone. So talking about health in general, health has been very crucial since the ancient times in India. You can say in form of Ayurveda, yoga. But currently, India has one of the highest burden of diseases in the world. And we also know that India is also called as the diabetic capital of the world. So we can see a big transition over here. And maybe the possible reasons for this can be lack of nutrition, health, hygiene, sanitation, and also the sedentary lifestyle that we are following right now. Am I audible?
Yes, Rashmi, you're audible.
So so implementing health in educational curriculum can be really beneficial for this, as it can inculcate a healthy lifestyle among children at a very young age. As we all know, the curriculum we have now, it focuses more on physical education, but we need a comprehensive health education which would take care of physical education, mental education, and also focus somewhere on social health. As Shantanu mentioned about the school health program under Ayushman Bharat scheme, that is very prevalent nowadays, and it is promoting a good healthy behavior in schools by inculcating value. By telling students to follow good health hygiene practices, telling them to drink safe water, having nutritious food, then also practicing yoga, meditation to help their mental health also. And a point I want to highlight under this scheme is that it also prevents bullying. It also provides internet and media literacy to address mental health. And one more initiative, it is a private initiative called as Tarang Health Alliance. It has been developed and it provides workbooks and manuals for students from class 6 to 7th in English and Hindi. And it is covering points such as nutrition, sanitation, alcohol, drugs, menstrual hygiene, then relationships, self-esteem, emotions, and more. These are some initiatives I would like to highlight. And one more is the health screening provided under Rashtriya Bal Swasthya Karyakram. Yeah. And some measures which can be followed are appointing teachers as health ambassadors in every school, then focusing upon vaccination, providing vaccination in the schools, also distributing sanitary pads for menstrual hygiene. And also I read somewhere some specific medicines are also given to children at some specific period regularly. I'm sorry, I am not able to mention the names of the medicines. And one more initiative that can be taken is there can be a question box in school where students can anonymously write their questions related to health or anything, because not everyone might be comfortable asking it upfront. So these measures can be implemented. Yeah, thank you.
To support your argument about what medicines can be given, is one of the very basic medicine that has been provided are polio drops to help out the people and prevent polio. Apart from that, we have 8 basic vaccinations that are being given to kids so that they do not have a problem in the future. Okay, like for example, we have I think HIV का कुछ होता है and और भी होता है. I'm not able to recall myself. But I think great points put forth. A thing that I would like to highlight is the fact that I would like this discussion to go in that particular direction is how our instructor mentioned that students should ask questions anonymously on the chats. I would like to direct this particular topic on the fact that do you think that we should have health classes in schools? Is it like a valid, thing that should take place in schools, especially for kids? Like if we talk about middle school kids in general, and do you think that the new education policy should have incorporated something like this or not? Think about it. Till then, let's go back to Shraddha.
So yeah, I just got another thing that once I read that in east of Asia, like China, Japan, Taiwan, etc., in these countries, what happens that during the school in the first or second hours they generally hold the classes, but after that they make them exercise in the ground and different activities are taken so that their mental as well as physical health can be ensured. And just a similar fashion I have seen in KVs, Kendra Vidyalaya schools, where they have some time of the classes where students exercise, not not daily, but on some days, like on Wednesday, there is a PT, physical training class, and in some time there was a yoga classes also in KVs where students were taught different yogas for the mental and physical health. And apart from that, I guess this is common for all the schools where there is a medical test. Medical test happen in every school so that students at least know the basic things about their eyesight, their blood type and sugar levels and height, weight, etc., and given the instruction of a better health. But I found some glitches in such a medical examination because I found out that my one of my friend told me that he was given a different blood group in the school examination, but he got to know that he has a different blood group. So I want that such examination should be strict and should be better equipped. Yeah, and such practices can be applied in different school and also in the government schools in rural areas. That would be better for their health. Thanks.
Fair enough. Makes sense and point well noted. So moving back to the discussion, do you guys have anything to talk about it? Shantanu, you have something?
Yeah, so the new education policy which we have got for the school, it has a special mention about the physical health. Okay, so physical health comprises of all the activities which a student is going to do during a academic year. Now that consists of like apart from the private schools because they are taking care of other aspects. If we are talking about the government schools, still the old methodology of the teaching pattern is being followed. Now, if you go into a rural government school, you'll find only 2, 3 teachers who are looking after whole batches, whole classes from 1 to 12. So the health monitoring cannot be taken care as a proper way, and that may lack. But still, we need to see the data which will be coming after the implementation which we have done for the new education policy.
Khushi.
So, like, I completely agree to the idea of starting health education at school level, because whenever we talk about like we all have been in school for over 10 years now, like, so we have seen that in school whenever we talk about health, it always comes to sports, running and all. Nobody talks about our menstrual health, our mental health, and whenever we come to talk about it, people always remain silent. So like okay, so like I'm not here whenever I'm talking, when I'm saying school, I'm not particularly targeting any public school, because there are people and their parents are much aware about it, like not everyone's parents obviously, but when we address government schools, the situation is always grim. there. So like even if teachers are allotted for mental health and all, they are often given some other subjects to teach students. So at ground level, nothing is actually happening, even if government is trying to do something at state, or trying to pass bills and all about it.
I think well highlighted about the fact that we have to, provide menstrual health as well. And this can be actually an aspect of the health classes. For that matter, I remember that under Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan, initially, sorry guys for the disturbance. Initially, we did have, menstrual classes that were being provided, menstrual awareness campaigns that were being provided, but they started declining and have been gone on to nearly, conducting being zero. So, any other inputs that you guys have?
I would like to add on to it that also girls should also be given menstrual leaves on the day of their periods.
I think that should depend on person to person, in my personal opinion, because sometimes what happens is that a girl might not feel the pain varies, you know, person to person. The side effect of menstruation actually varies from person to person. So you might have period pains. On the other hand, I might not have cramps for any 5 days. So it depends, is what my opinion is. Others, you can. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I agree with Abhiniti's point, because what I may suffer during my menstruation days won't be similar to other girls. So it should vary from person to person. And also, sexual and reproductive health education is also a very important part to make a comprehensive health curriculum for any school. So, and which is very less talked about. So I think it can be a good point to work
I
upon
think
on.
that is a totally separate topic that can be taken up part of this. Sorry, guys, once again. Another thing is that I personally feel that sex ed is very important and it should be promoted. But the thing, I think this is something that very less people know, is that in the new education policy, it was incorporated, but due to backlash, it got scrapped off. So that is one thing that, is very disappointing. So I think let's just wrap this topic up for today. And I think we have the guest with us today, Samriddhi. Let's just wait for the guest for a few minutes. Okay, we have someone coming on the occasion of World Holiday. Okay, we'll just wait. I'll just see what's the issue on the back end. Okay. Kushi, do you have something to say?
No, actually, I forgot to lower my hand.
Not an issue.